Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of the XIVT podcast. Our first interview is to Peter Watkins. He is the country coordinator of Canada and the leader of QA Consultants, one of the companies that work as a service provider of XIVT. Hello Peter, how are you? First of all, thank you so much for being the first guest in the XIVT podcast. We are here to talk about the project, but also about your role in it and everything that you are getting with your team and your company in QA Consultants. So the first thing that I would like to know is what is XIVT for a person that doesn't know anything about engineering?
XIVT is defined XIVT as meaning excellence in variant testing, so it's short for that. We call it XIVT because XIVT in German is pronounced shift. But it deals with the question of complexity as we get the interconnection of devices and objects that become more and more enabled with communication protocols and intelligence. And as you know, the Facebook deals with millions, billions of people who are linked, and the value of Facebook goes up exponentially with the number of connections. And the same thing is true in testing. So as you get a network on the Internet of Things, each one of the components has intelligence and communication, then the complexity of testing an ecosystem of Internet of Things goes up exponentially with the number of connections. So as you get this ecosystem of interconnected devices and systems, that creates this complexity where billions of different configurations need to be tested, then the project XIVT is really important to society and to companies in order for them to have methods and new tools and technology to test these complex systems. Because if we can't test them effectively, society and economies will not be able to function properly. So it's a very important project.
And could you provide some information about what you do in the project?
So QA Consultants is the only company in the 5 countries, Canada, Sweden, Germany, Turkey, and Portugal, that specializes in software testing. That is all that we do. So for us and for our contribution to the project, we're bringing the methods, the tools, the technologies that are commercially specialized would be available to industries as services, and we're bringing that team of people and expertise to the project. We're bringing about 14 PhDs and engineers and master students and others who are actively involved in testing of complex variant systems. Mm-hmm. And the importance of the XIVT project is we see that with the progression of 5G and the Internet of Things, that all of the systems that are being developed, and therefore our entire business, is going to be dependent on the XIVT type of tools and techniques that are going to be developed through this project. Our business and other people's business in testing is going to be dependent on complex, highly configurable systems testing. So we're making a major contribution to the project, and the project is making a major contribution to QA Consultants.
But your main role in XIVT is to create constructing automation testing frameworks. What does it mean?
So right now, if you research the literature, and we have done state-of-the-art global surveys, you'll see that there are individual techniques that exist for solving point solutions or point problems, but an integrated tool chain of bringing right from the requirements definition to the domain design, to the device design, through the testing, and then modeling, and then checking for artificial intelligence and using techniques like fuzzy logic or variant testing or fault injection. Those all exist in disparate pockets. What we're doing as part of this project is bringing those tool chains together to create an integrated software solution. We believe at this point those software solutions will be largely domain specific. It'll be specific to the automotive domain, the rail domain, telecommunications domain, and Industry 4.0 domains. But across the domains and across these industries, there will be a common set of methodologies and approaches that will be available. And this will make this tool chain, integrated tool chain, will make the use of the SHIFT methodologies available to a large number of participants in countries around the world.
So then, do you think that the use cases that you are working with can generalize the framework for future different domain problems?
Yes, we've been very fortunate because this is an industry-led project that the use cases that we have from our industry partners represents core issues for their specific industries and domains. And so, for example, for Bombardier, in their transportation division, they're bringing a use case dealing with the complexity of configuring a train for their customers around the world using different propulsion systems and different engines, different customer requirements that have to function in different locations around the world. And being able to test those configurations and being able to develop and release those is the use case they're bringing to the project. ABB is bringing a production line, a full production line to the project, and therefore the individual robots and that are on the production line and their interconnection creates a manufacturing Industry 4.0 test case. Explio is bringing forth a pedestrian detection software issue for autonomous and connected vehicles, and that's an excellent use case for being able to use variant testing to test how vehicles will interact with the public on roads under a variety of scenarios and conditions, and so forth. So each of the domains, we have an industry partner with a representative use case, and we're using those use cases to test the methodologies that are being created to see if they're efficient and we're getting the results that we expect.
Yeah, but if we focus on ourselves in a normal company, how can ordinary companies benefit from the results of the project?
Well, if I could just deal with a manufacturing company and the Industry 4.0. So in a manufacturing company, largely right now, the individual robots and the stations in the manufacturing chain are independent. Each device has to be tested uniquely and largely manually. So by creating a automated set of methodologies, in some cases using digital twinning or virtual simulation, we'll be able to test and configure the entire manufacturing chain versus having to test each component separately and distinctly. And at a minimum, we believe that there will be a 5 to 10% production improvement in efficiency of manufacturing. So if you just take that for the automotive sector, which is $18 trillion a year, a 10% improvement in productivity is, close to $2 trillion of value per year. So the results of SHIFT are going to create enormous efficiencies in industries, as the one example I gave in the manufacturing sector.
Mm-hmm. And how do you cooperate with different universities, organizations, and countries that are with a big time difference, as you are like with Canada and Turkey, for example? How do you cooperate?
Well, I just got off an international call. We have a call each week by the participants on the normally it's at morning 8 o'clock Eastern time for the Canadian participants, and it's about 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon for the European participants. And we have these regularly. The management meetings are on the Wednesday mornings, and then the work packages for each of the countries is reviewed on Thursday mornings. So this morning, for example, we went through a 2-hour workshop with the participants just before our discussion today. And we find that's working quite well. So for us, we get up at, we have our calls between 8 o'clock and 10, and for the Europeans, the time difference is 2 to 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And that seems to work well between the participants. It's not too bad, and so far we've been able to make it work. I must say the teamwork between the participants, Canada, Germany, Sweden, Turkey, and Portugal is working extremely well. And in our ITEA review by the leadership of ITEA to review the program, one of their comments was that this project is working very well in terms of its collaboration and communication.
So just to finish, what would you recommend for a company that wants to start working with projects like this?
Well, we would recommend that any company that's interested contact members of the XIVT Project. We have a website. It's www.xivt.org. And in that is a description of the project, the various activities that are taking place, contact information, as well as on the ITEA portal, itea3.org portal, there's descriptions and connections on the XIVT project. And we would be delighted and we're encouraged to work with all types of companies and industry partners. We and myself and all the other members of the XIVT project, this is an industry-led initiative. Its objective is to make these tools and techniques and methodologies available to companies that can use them and can benefit from the use of them in their real-life commercial interactions. And I can speak for myself, and I think for everyone on the team, we would be delighted to assist any company that expresses an interest in using these methodologies to help their company be successful.
That's really good. Thank you so much for your time and all the information that you gave us, and I hope the project continues being a success.
Thank you very much.